Hello, my enthusiastic students. Today I'm gonna show you a video about types of fiction. I wish that you'll like this video so much. First of all, I'm gonna show you my objectives of this video. At the end of this video, my students will be able to distinguish among all types of fiction. Types of fiction. Let us see what does fiction include. Fiction includes realistic fiction, mystery, science fiction, historical fiction, fantasy, fable. What about nonfiction? Nonfiction includes informational text, pamphlets, brochures, flyers, textbooks, workbook, guides, booklets, notes, advice column, newspaper, editorials, biography, autobiography, essay, speech, persuasive writing. Now let us see the definition of each type of fiction in details. Realistic fiction. It is made up of stories that could really happen. So these stories could happen in real life, with characters and events that may be real. Historical fiction. It is made up of stories that took place in a certain time and place in the past. Real historical figures, real historical characters and setting. You know what I mean by setting, time and place, may be included in a historical fiction story. What about fables? Fables are short stories whose main characters are animals. So the main characters in fables are animals. They tell a general truth and teach a moral lesson. So at the end of fables, we learn a moral lesson that we have to apply in life, or we may apply in life. Realistic fiction, as I mentioned before, includes characters whose behaviors are realistic. So the behaviors are realistic. Realistic fiction usually includes dialogue, so it usually includes conversation. Realistic fiction features setting and events that could exist in real life. So time, place, events could be real in real life. Fables. 1. A lesson to learn. So we learn a lesson in fables. 2. My stories are short, so the fables are short stories. 3. Most characters are animals, so the main characters in fables are animals. What am I? A fable. Historical fiction. What about its definition? It's a story of past events. What about its features? Real historical events, so the events are real. Real or fictional historical characters, so the characters are real or fictional or from imagination. What about fantasy? Fantasy is a fiction which elements are not real, so the elements of fiction are not real. Sometimes this includes talking animals or characters with magical powers. So in fantasy there are talking animals or characters with magical powers, supernatural powers, powers that are impossible to be with humans. There is usually a conflict between good and evil. So sometimes or usually there is a fight between good and bad. What about science fiction? It is made up of stories that blend fact and fiction. So the stories in science fiction join fact and fiction and imagination with futuristic technology. So science fiction depends on technology, inventions, space, aliens, and things like this. What about expository nonfiction? It gives information, it gives facts, It is real with real characters, setting, and events. So everything related to expository nonfiction is real. Fantasy again. It is a story with events or characters that could not exist in real life. So the characters and the events are unreal, could not exist in real life. What about science fiction characteristics? It has both science and fiction. It has both science and imagination. It could have time travel to the past and future. It could have space travel. It could have changes to humans or animals brought about scientific changes. It could have aliens. It could have aliens. What I mean by aliens? Space creatures that are unreal as you watch on TV. What about expository nonfiction? Expository nonfiction shows a book that gives facts about a theme, about a topic, and explains about something in real life. So everything that is related to real life comes under the type of expository nonfiction. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish that you like it so much. Goodbye.